So today, hi, I'm Caylee. I'm bringing you nap time tips so that you can get your work done because your kids will actually sleep. So I am so excited to talk to you about these things. Let me see. Okay. People are joining. Let me adjust Matt here. This is crazy. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to start. People can come and go, and I'll just email out the replay. But I know that this is a big promise, but I really think that once I show you a few small adjustments to make, that you will see a huge difference in the way that your kids respond to nap time. And that is how we move away from the problems and towards a much happier, calmer, more enjoyable rest time for everyone, especially you. So I hope that you make time to watch this video all the way through right now, but if you don't have time, I'll email out the replay. So make sure that you're on my email list. There's links in my bio, and I'll put them with this post too. So the nap time struggles are very real. And I mean, like, how many kids have to get up off their mats before it's okay for us to feel frustrated? Like 5, 6? It's such a hard thing. Because nap time is usually part of the day where we have to get a few other things done. So the stakes go up. We naturally get more stressed when kids start misbehaving because we're holding papers that we have to finish cutting, or we're have a bulletin board that we need to get done, or the millions of things that we're trying to finish while our kids are sleeping in that short amount of time. And not to mention that the kids are tired. So what I'm about to show you is going to help you actually get your kids to sleep. And that's going to make for a better nap time, but also a better afternoon. Happier kids, happier you. Everybody's going to win after this talk. So one of the schools that I taught at actually said that nap time was our planning time. Like in the older grades, the kids were supposed to go to specials, and then those teachers had their planning time, but they were like, you guys have nap time and you're in your room for that hour. So that was ridiculous, but it forced me to try things and figure out what would work to make nap time a productive time for me and for my kids. And actually, I found out that those two things were actually very linked. I couldn't be productive if my kids were miserable, basically. I couldn't get anything done if they were all just laying there hating every minute of it. So I was actually able to turn nap time into something that my students enjoyed. And this is kind of the key here, the secret sauce. Once you can get them to stop resisting the nap, stop fighting the quiet time, and you can get them to accept that rest time is just a quiet time where we let our bodies relax and rest up so that we can be ready for all the fun we're going to have this afternoon, everything changes. They stop having those negative emotions, and they're able to feel calm and relaxed. And the best part is that once they feel this way, most of them will fall asleep. So let me explain more. In the beginning, I always had most of the kids fight the urge to sleep. Tell me if you're in the same boat. It's like they're all tired, but they don't want to fall asleep. I don't know if it's just like the FOMO, like the fear that they're missing out on something, or if it's the unfamiliar space and they keep their guard up so that they can't fully relax. But whatever the reason, they'll start messing around and doing things just to keep themselves awake. And this is where the problems start. They start whispering to the kids near them, or they start touching everything on the shelves where they're laying. And this is when you start to get annoyed, and the more kids that start these little misbehaviors, the more frustrated you get. And it doesn't work to go around and try to put out the fires by telling them to stop touching stuff or stop talking. Why? Because you really have nothing to back up what you're saying during that time. So you could drop empty threats, but they know that there's not really much you can do. And once you start taking things away, you're gonna really see the misbehavior amp up. So, because that makes them feel yucky. They don't want to be threatened. They don't want to miss out on stuff, but they also just don't want to sleep right now. So let's take a whole different approach. Here's the bottom line. We need to get them to lay still on their mats while we get a few things done. And, sorry, I'm sitting on my feet and my feet are falling asleep. I'm super pregnant right now. Okay, and can you still see me? Oh boy. Okay. So, here's the bottom line. We need them to lay still on their mats while we get a few things done. And because they're all exhausted at this time, even if they act like they aren't, we want them to sleep. And I'm about to share the changes that I made that you're going to be able to try with your kids. Because once I was able to go this route, I had pretty much every kid sleep in my classroom. Even the kids whose parents say, oh, they don't nap anymore, those kids will sleep too. And this is not me forcing a strategy or trying to make kids do what they don't want to do. I totally believe that school is exhausting for these little guys. And by nap time, they could use a little power nap. All of them. I mean, I need one too right about that time, right? Like, we're all exhausted. It's the middle of the day. So my strategy is to create an environment where students feel at ease and then they can fall asleep. How do I do it? First, you set the mood. So you want your room to feel super calm and relaxing. I dimmed the lights a lot. I'd have one or two low lights in different areas in the room, and even where I would sit at my desk to work was basically dark. I would have like a little strand of Christmas lights, because removing the light is a big factor in making kids feel calm and sleepy. If you have the bright overhead lights on, your kids are not going to be able to get into this calmer, sort of relaxed, ready to rest state. And there's also a chance that turning off the lights could make your kids feel scared, but not if you do it the way that I'm explaining. Kids feel calm in low light if you create a mood that feels peaceful. Not, you don't just walk around and flip all the lights off and it goes black and everybody freaks out. No. This is a gentle transition into the calm rest time setup. So my kids would nap after they would be at lunch and recess. And so when they would come back in, the mood was already set. The lights were dim. There's still a few strategically placed lights that are low, so they won't keep kids awake, but they can still sort of see where they're walking. And yes, the room is pretty dark. And once you add in a few of these other factors that I'm about to talk about, it won't be scary. It'll be calm. So the lights are dim, and then you also want to play calming music. There are tons of versions of rest time meditation, lullabies on YouTube and Spotify. There's a great one for kids meditation. There's a channel on Spotify by Sada, S-A-D-A, Meditation for Kids. There's a dolphin on the cover. And that one is great because there's a calm voice that talks to them in a gentle tone and walks them through a visual meditation. It's like, close your eyes, feel your breath, feel your body relax as you breathe in and out. Imagine that you're a caterpillar laying in the sun, and it does these little 5 or 10 minute meditations that are perfect for the kids to follow through these little visual kind of stories, and it's just very calming. Again, that's on Spotify. I'm sure you can find them on YouTube too, but it's Sada, S-A-D-A, Meditation for Kids. So I would always start with one of those to give those kids with busy brains something to focus on. And then after one of those, I would just have like calming instrumental lullabies, just peaceful nap time music. And I also had a box fan that I would turn on during nap time. It's like with a baby, having that noise machine or just like the sounds in the background helps them to fall asleep. So it's not silent and they're not reacting to every peep that they hear in the classroom once they hear the whoosh of the fan and the calm meditation, it almost gives them permission to be in their own space. They quit worrying about what other kids are doing and what I'm doing, because those distractions are all drowned out. And they are just able to lay there and be at peace with themselves. So I definitely recommend a box fan or some kind of other noise machine to just make some sound in the background. I promise that's super helpful. And there are other things that I do to make the space feel calm and peaceful. So first, really, you want to change the way that they feel about nap time. And there are a few specific ways to do this. First, I use a magic spray. If you aren't familiar with this technique yet, you need to bring it to life in your classroom. I have a whole YouTube video that I share about magic sprays. If you're on my email list, I will email you the link to that video and the replay of this live this afternoon. So if you're not on my email list yet, I have links on my website, and I'll put them in this post too to get on my email list. So the magic sprays are, and I also talk about these a lot in the Calm Classroom course, which is worth mentioning right now. I've created a course for you to eliminate the misbehavior in your classroom by creating a calm and happy environment. And I'm not kidding when I say no behavior is too much for my course. It will help you to feel totally confident that you can handle any behavior that your kids are trying on you. It launches November 29th. So that's the day that you can press play on my videos, and I will walk you through each lesson. You're not alone anymore. I'm going to take you through each step and help you transform your classroom into a calm and happy place. I just have to make sure everyone knows about it because it's only going to be available for a 2-week window starting in November 29th. So if this is something that you need, or you're at least interested in hearing more, make sure that you're on my email list so you get all the details. But back to the magic spray. This is basically just a calm spray that helps them calm their bodies down. This is the one I used. It's just water and a drop or two of perfume or essential oils. I put glitter in it to make it feel fancy. These are some of the other magic sprays that we use for different things. Smart spray, friend spray. There's all kinds of things you can use magic sprays for. But you tell the kids that this is a very expensive spray. I don't know why, but they love hearing that it's expensive for some reason. They're like, oh, wow. And you tell them that you bought it because it's very special and it will help them to calm down. And then you can go around the circle and give them each a spray. So I kind of just spray it above them and let them lean into it. Just a gentle, just a soft scent. And then each day at nap time, I would come around and tuck each kid in. And this is important because you want them to feel loved and seen and at ease. And by you coming around like this, they will each feel special, and they will come to look forward to that little moment when you come to see them. And it doesn't take long to do this, just a few minutes. But it's also important because you're covering them up with their blankets. So having a blanket on top of them is part of them feeling cozy and being able to fall asleep. So I would cover them up and I would ask them if they would like a spray of magic spray. And then almost always they would say yes. And I would spray it up into the air and they would just be laying there and kind of take a few breaths to breathe it in. So they're calming their bodies naturally by taking breaths of that magic spray, and they're just laying under their blankets. So we're about 5 minutes into nap time. I've gone around to tuck in every kid, covered them up, offered them magic spray. They're laying there in the dark, cozy room, snuggled up. They can't really hear the other kids because of the fan. They're listening to the visual meditation about being a caterpillar, eating food. And then I've sent 1 or 2 kids who have occasional accidents to go to the bathroom. You can really get this part of the day dialed in to be a very smooth running, well-oiled machine as you get to know the needs of your kids and just little things that each kid needs to feel ready for rest time, it's not too much to do. And the way that you keep them on their mats is that you talk to them. So you've said, I know that you guys don't like to lay down on your mats. And you know what? I don't want you to lay there for a long time either. And they'll be so surprised by this. And then you explain to them, here's the plan. From now on, you're going to be able to get off your mats and work on different activities as long as you stay still and nice and quiet on your mats for the first 20 minutes. Does that sound good? And they're mainly going to hear the first part. You're going to be able to get off your mats, and then they're going to get excited about that. And now they have something to look forward to. So then you back up and tell them again about what they have to do in order to be able to get off their mats. So basically, what you want them to do is lay quietly for 20 minutes. And here's the kicker. Once you've Once you've removed the negative feelings around nap time, and B, told them that they can get up after 20 or 30 minutes, whatever you want to make it, because they don't know how long 20 minutes is. Before that, all they knew was, I have to lay there forever, and I hate this. But now, you're putting an end in sight. So here's what happens. They feel differently about the whole thing. Now they feel like, if I just lay there for a minute, if I just lay there for a little bit, I can get up. And this feels manageable to them. So much so that they will be able to relax. And the magic part, most of them will now fall asleep. They don't have the worry and the panic that they had before. They're not working against you on the nap time goals here. You guys are working together. They're going to lay down and relax. And I'm telling you, most of your kids will fall asleep in those first 20 minutes. And now you're probably like, what is about to happen here? They just all get up off their mats and when 20 minutes passes by? No, come on now. I'm telling you, once we've flipped the way that we all feel about nap time, you're going to love the way this unfolds. So you are in charge of the time. Whether it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you decide when enough time has passed by to start getting kids up. But remember, by this time, most kids will have fallen asleep. So you'll have maybe 3 or 4 kids that are awake on their mats. You can decide when the time is right, and you can start getting them up. But, and this is something that I go way into detail, way more into detail in the Calm Classroom course, but I'm going to try to give you the Cliff Notes version here. So basically, once you present your kids with these special privileges that they can earn, you give them something to step up to. And they will do it because they want to get to do the special stuff. They want to earn the privilege. So in this case, you're giving them the option of getting off their mat early, which is something that they desperately want. So they will do whatever they have to do to earn this special thing. And there's a lot more that goes into it. So if you have kids who aren't stepping up to earn it, you got to let me give you the whole scoop. And that's what the course is for. You can ensure, so once you get the full course understanding of it, you'll be able to make sure that every kid is successful with this. But for now, I don't have time to go into all of that. I'm going to try to give you the shortened version. So you've presented them with this special thing that they want, and you make it clear to them what they have to do to earn it. So they have to lay quietly on their mats, not talking to anyone around them, not touching anything on the shelves. And those first few days of this, especially, you're going to want to go around those first 5 or 10 minutes and be kind of dramatic about how you're noticing what each child is doing. And you're going to give them praise and attention because they're naturally going to seek that out. We're going to give it to them. And once you do that a few times, you won't have to do it so much anymore. But those first few days, you want to walk around and let them feel your eyes on them, wink at them, give them a thumbs up, give them feedback about what they're doing so that they can feel assured as they're laying there, I'm doing great. And they're thinking to themselves about how excited they are to be getting off of their mats in a minute. So they see you coming around and they know she's monitoring us. She's going to let the kids who have been laying on their mats nice and still get up in a little bit, and I cannot wait to get off of my mat in a minute. So they feel calm and at peace, and they might be a little excited for that first 10 minutes. But then the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes that go by, they start to feel a little sleepy because they're relaxed and they're calm. And then they fall asleep. And you have time to get your stuff done. And then you decide when it's time. And remember, you've been keeping an eye on them. So you know all the kids who have been doing a great job. And only about 4 of them are awake now. But you know that they did what they needed to do. And they earned a special privilege of getting up early. And that's important because once they earn the special thing, they aren't going to let misbehavior get in the way of them getting that thing. They aren't going to start messing around once they get off their mats because they know that that's going to cause them to lose this special privilege that they just earned. And this is big, and there's a lot more to it, like how to introduce this and how to help them fully understand what it means without having them shut down, etc. So for the whole scoop, you got to get on the wait list for the course. But for now, trust me, that you can introduce it in a way that says, I'm on your side. I want you to be able to do special things. I know that you're going to do great. Instead of, if you do that, I'm going to take things away. Do you see the difference there? So if you have 1 or 2 kids that act like they don't care and they don't want to get off their mats and they just mess around, you need to go back to the point that I just made, and you need to do some more work on the, I'm on your side. I have fun things for you to do, and I want you to be able to do them. You are good at a lot of things. We are going to have so much fun together. So this is exactly what the course will tell you how to do. But for now, that's sort of the shorter version of it. Your kids need to feel like you are on their side, you want them to get to do the fun stuff, and that you genuinely just are there to do what's good for them. You're not working against them. And there's a little more to it, but for now, that should be enough for you to realize that if kids aren't jumping on the train with you for this, you got to go back to that and make sure that you make it clear to them, we're on the same team. I would love for you to be able to get up and do this activity. So you're building them up because you don't want to take things away. You want them to be great listeners and follow directions so that you can let them do more stuff. And you can let them off their mats during rest time without disrupting the kids who are sleeping. You want to be able to let them work quietly with a partner on a puzzle while you finish your work and the other kids are sleeping. And so you set them up to be successful in whatever the task is. So you have to decide, what am I going to let them do when they get up early? For me, it was always, I would go over to each individual kid and I would help them get their sheet off their mat and put it back into their naptime bag. Get the sheet off their mat, and they would put it back in their naptime bag. And their naptime bag would just be under their mat while they were resting. So then I would carry their mat to the hallway to be cleaned and stacked, and they would take their rest time bag with all their stuff back in it to their coat hook and hang it up. And I could sort of stagger how I would get a few kids up at one time. Go over, I sweep their sheet off, give it to them, they take their bag, put it all back into their naptime bag, hang it up on their hook. Then they wash their hands and sit quietly at the table to eat snack. So that's an easy first step for them to do quietly because they're eating, and you can control the seating if you have to. Another thing I'll tell you how to do in the course, but I don't have time for right now. And then it would vary. Sometimes I would let them go to a center that was going to be quieter and not near a child that was sleeping. But really, they can be near kids who are sleeping because they're going to be quiet. They're going to be superstars because they know that doing this special thing that they wanted to do, getting to sit and play with magnetiles or dolls is so much fun. And I've made it clear to them, I am so glad that you get to get up and play. I know you're going to be so quiet. It's just all positive, building them up and preparing them to be awesome at whatever it is that you're having them do. I assure you, kids can be as quiet as you need them to be. It doesn't have to be something during this time where, oh man, they're getting a little noisy over there. It's like, these kids are quiet as a mouse. And you look at them and you're like, yes, this is awesome. I can't believe how quiet you were over there. You're going to be able to do this every day. So always building them back up and making them successful. And I would have different lights around my room that I could turn on, and kids could start to work, in a certain area because again, it was dark during rest time. And I do not just turn on the lights and say nap time's over. And oh my gosh, no. You sort of phase them in and out of this dark nap time setting. So you don't just turn on all the lights and say, everybody wake up. No. You want to keep it calm by staggering how you're waking them up. And just make it super smooth. And then you can front load the activities to set them up for success. So you could have them sit and listen to a book on tape. That's something that they won't make too much noise with. Or you could have them sit and work on an iPad for a small amount of time. Or you could have them play by themselves with a quiet activity that they don't need any help to do. You'll find lots of fun stuff for them to do during this time. Maybe you start out super simple. You could have a stack of coloring pages and they just sit right at the table with you. You have 3 kids sitting there coloring nicely while you're getting a few things done at the head of the table. And then you could even teach them some silent strategies to tell their friends. This is how you could tell your friend, I like your work, by pointing and giving a thumbs up. Or you could teach them to raise their hand or use the hand signal. What we did different things for needing to get a drink of water. They love learning these little signals so that they can be really good at this time. Being quiet so that they can be off their mat. They want to learn more ways to be even more quiet and do it even better. So think about how you can teach them little things that will make them more successful. What little tricks can you show them? Because kids love these kind of tricks. They eat this stuff up. And you know what you could do? Instead of coming over to ask me for a drink, you could just raise your hand and use this signal, whatever it is. And then most of my kids would sleep almost that full hour. Once they fall asleep, they're just tired. And so I would go around and start waking them up one by one in the same way I did the other kids. Pull the sheet off and I would take their mat. They would take their sheet and their Naptime bag with whatever they had, a blanket or a stuffed animal, hang it on their hooks, wash their hands for snack. It is such a nice feeling to have a bunch of sleepy kids quietly eating snack because they're just waking up from the great nap that they had and they're ready for this afternoon. And so you can talk with them about it. It's so good that you slept a little bit. You're going to have plenty of energy to play this afternoon. A lot of it is just flipping the whole nap time feel to more positive. Make it a positive thing. Change the way they look at it so they stop working against you. Because once you guys can work together, it's going to have a whole different feel. And so I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information today. But really quickly, I want to mention one just brilliant thing that you can use. So I started doing back rubbing coupons. Okay, so a coupon was something that kids could earn when they fill their sticker charts, and a back rubbing coupon was one of the options that they could pick. And this meant that they could stay up off their mat for 5 minutes and rub another child's back. Sounds like nothing, but it is such a big deal for them. So 1 or 2 kids might have said that they were going to cash in their back rubbing coupon on a certain day. And that means we all come in to lay down and those 2 kids get to stay up off their mat. This is where the huge deal is. They don't have to lay down right away. This feels so special to them. And then they're gonna go sit and help you rub another child's back. They're literally helping you put kids to sleep. And it's another thing where they're gonna do it the right way because you're gonna set them up for success by showing them what back rubbing looks like. It's just you just gently make a circle. And I tell them to ask the kids before they start to rub their back, make sure that the kid wants it. Then you rub, and you're not talking to them. You're just sitting quietly. And then as they're doing that, I'm looking across the room and just like, wow, this is so cool. Look at you. You're not even on your mat. This is so special. And they're like, I know, this is so special. So that feels, I feel like if I was just explaining it right now without having seen it in action, I would be like, I don't even know what is special about this, but this is a big deal for the kids. So if you're trying to motivate your kids to make good choices, use back rubbing coupons as something that they can earn, however you want to do it. I'll show you exactly how to do it my way in the Calm Classroom course, but you could sort of take it and make it your own. And then, okay, you're cashing in your coupon today. You get to sit up for 5 minutes and rub someone's back. Sometimes they actually put kids to sleep, and you're just like, this is great. This is just, everybody's winning right now. So back rubbing coupons are another fun way to motivate kids to do awesome stuff and help you to put the kids to sleep at rest time. And they'll do it the right way because it's so special. They don't want to lose that chance to do that. I hope that you have found today helpful and fun. If you have questions for me, or you would like to know more about the Calm Classroom course that launches November 29th, make sure that you're on my email list. Thanks for being here. I hope this is helpful. Yeah, talk to you soon. Mwah. Okay, now I don't know how to stop this. Live. Exit.